It's a new year and a new chance for you to make a fresh start with your compliance. We're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Fox, the Compliance Evangelist.
We're going to have a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back. What is the best single-author handbook for a best practices compliance program? I would humbly submit to you that it is the Compliance Handbook, 5th edition, by myself, Tom Fox. It's published by LexisNexis, and it's designed to give you information on how to improve your compliance program literally across an entire year. Each entry has 3 key takeaways of things you can do at little or no cost for your compliance program. I'm going to link to it in the show notes, so check out the Compliance Handbook, 5th edition. We are at the end of our 31 days, and so for this 31st day, we're going to take a look at using a root cause analysis for remediation. The CCP reemphasized the need for both performing a root cause analysis, but equally importantly, using it to remediate your compliance program. The document stated it is a hallmark of a compliance program that is working effectively in practice to the extent to which a company is able to conduct a thoughtful root cause analysis of misconduct and timely and appropriately remediate to address those root causes. It went on to state what additional steps a company should take, demonstrate the recognition of the seriousness of the misconduct, acceptance of responsibility for it, and the implementation of measures to reduce the risk of repetition of such misconduct, including measures to identify the future risks. You should begin with the question of who should perform the remediation. Should it be an investigator or an investigative team, which are a part of the root cause analysis? The key is independence and objectivity. It may be that an investigator or investigative team is a subject matter expert and therefore more qualified to get to that particular recourse. Yet to perform the remediation, the key is to integrate the information developed from the root cause analysis into the solution. A company may also have deficiencies in internal controls. More importantly, the failure to remediate gaps in those internal controls provide the opportunity for additional errors or misconduct to occur, and thus could damage a company's credibility with the regulators by allowing the same or similar conduct to reoccur. Finally, both the corporate enforcement policy, where the DOJ added its voice to prior SEC statements that regulators will focus on what steps the company took upon learning of misconduct, whether the company immediately stopped the misconduct, and what new and more effective internal controls or procedures the company has adopted or plans to adopt to prevent a reoccurrence. As required under the ECCP from the regulatory perspective, the critical element is how did you use the information you developed in your root cause analysis. Every time you see a problem as a CCO, you should work to perform a root cause analysis. Was something approved or not approved before the untoward event happened? Was any harm done? Why or why not? Did the system fail? Was it because the person who was doing it, approval was too busy? Was it because the person didn't understand? It is interested in answering these questions and others which you have been developed through a root cause analysis. You can bring real value and real solutions to your compliance programs. The key is that after you have identified the cause of such problems, consider the solutions that could be implemented and developing a logical approach using data that already exists in your organization. Identify current and future needs for organizational improvement. Your solution should be a repeatable step-by-step process in which one can confirm the results of another. Focusing on the corrective measures of root causes is more effective than simply treating the symptoms of a problem or an event, and you will have a much more robust solution in place. This is because the solutions are more effective when accomplished through a systematic process, with conclusions backed up by data. When you step back and consider what the DOJ was trying to accomplish with the ECCP, it becomes clear what the DOJ expects from the compliance professional. Consider the structure of your program and how it interrelates to your company's overall risk profile. When you have a compliance failure, use your root cause analysis to determine and then remediate based on that root cause analysis. We saw this as recently as the FCPA enforcement action, where the DOJ specifically cited to SAP for performing a root cause analysis and then building out their remediation. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, the key to using a root cause analysis is objectivity and independence. Number 2, the critical element is how did you use the information you developed in the root cause analysis? And number 3, the key is after you've identified the cause of the problems, consider the solutions that can be implemented by a logical approach using data that already exists in your organization going forward. I hope you've enjoyed this special series in the month of January on 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program. If you'd like more information on any of the topics of this month's series, 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program, check out The Compliance Handbook 5th edition, available from LexisNexis. You can check it out at lexisnexis.com/Fox. I know you will find it useful and enjoy it. Thanks so much for listening.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.